Hello, everyone. You're going to be hearing this voice from now on. Welcome to ManiExplained. Poor boy was bullied all his life because he didn't have a father. But one day, a heavy cavalry knight came to that small remote village, and they all bowed down to that little boy. Turns out, his father is the most powerful man in the empire. So the story begins in the continent of Aeson, governed by the Holy Alliance Empire, with the fate of moon goddess Elucia as its cornerstone. A new continental order was established. Divine arts and magic flow intertwined within its border. They sealed away the unorthodox forces so as not let it flow into the world and bewitch the hearts of men. But deep within the empire's border, in a quiet corner, far from the center of power, lie forgotten ancient secrets and legends of awakening ancient bloodlines. It's just a peaceful day in this corner of the empire. Someone has caught a boar in his trap, and it's our MC Richard. Just as he was about to finish the boar, an arrow comes and hits the boar, giving it a finishing blow. Some other boys from the village have come to snatch Richard's prey, and he is not happy with that. The head of those bully, his name is Piru. They shot down the boar, so they get ready to take it, and the trap Richard laid is just a trap for catching small animals. No one will believe that he caught that boar. And they saw him with only small traps this morning. Richard realized that they had been following him to snatch his prey since morning, which makes the bully mad because Richard is accusing them of following him to steal his prey. So they get ready to teach him a lesson. To a fatherless bastard, that is Richard. They pin him down, ask him who actually caught that boar, try to make him surrender. But he is not some weak-ass MC. He is Wretched, who is going to be great in the future. He tells them that it's his prey and they are clearly stealing it from him. After that, they start to beat him like an animal. They keep on asking, but he has the same answer. They are stealing. Piru gets furious. He even orders his boys to beth Richard to death. He is ready to take the blame. Next, at night, Richard is getting treatment, and he is explaining to his mother about what happened, and that he was hurt while hunting boar. His mother is a beautiful woman, and she also knows how to use healing magic. After some time, she healed him completely. Great work, Mommy. She also realizes that her son is now 10 years old, so she gets ready to tell him the secret about the special ritual. She gets ready to teach him the divine art, which surprises him. And this divine art is going to be her birthday gift for his 10th birthday. Now he is excited. He is ready to learn it. And he is sure that once he learns the divine art, he won't be bullied easily. However, learning the divine art is no simple matter. The church strictly controls the inheritance of the divine art. They don't want anyone to learn the unorthodox forces like shadow and demons and prevent evil powers from harming their world. And there is also a prerequisite to use the divine art. They need to learn the ancient language and become someone acknowledged by Elucia. She is sure that her son will not understand the ancient language, but she still recites something of the ancient language, which says, "Power is bestowed upon the truly strong." In response to her, he also recites that a truly strong person must also have wisdom. Mother is shocked to find out that her son knows the ancient language and where he learned it. Well, he found a book and learned from it. After some time, they came to the attic, where he found the book, and there is a magic circle around that book. Mother is surprised to see that her son has already found the surprise gift she prepared for him. What? This was a surprise. He didn't expect that. The book is the holy scripture of the moon goddess Elucia. It records the 7 stories of the moon goddess's unique divine arts. And he has already finished reading all the books in the attic except that one. She is surprised and proud at the same time. because not many people can understand the words in that book, and only acknowledged by the goddess are qualified to understand and use it. She never expected her son to be chosen by Alucia. Next, they finally start the ritual. The magic circle starts to glow up. The mother informs him that he will likely encounter the 2 or 3 choices. Listen to the goddess's voice and follow your heart. He finds himself in a magical place and hears a voice asking, "Do you desire more power?" He is surprised to hear the voice. The voice tells him to think of it as the other half hidden deep within him. After that, the ground starts to shake. Statues emerge from the ground, and the statues of power have all awakened. Now it's time for him to select one. The divine art statue, enlightenment. Second, one healing. Third, one sanction. Fourth, one silver moon armament. Fifth, judgment. Sixth, the foresight. He is confused because his mother told him that there would be only 2 or 3. However, in front of him, there are 6. Now he will have to choose one among them, but he doesn't know which one to choose. Which one does he need? He remembers his painful past. One thing is clear, he needs power, strength. He wants to become strong so that he can protect his mother, to grow up and become a real man. He remembers the words of the ancient book, "A real man must also have wisdom." He remembers his mother's words to follow the choice of his heart. He now realizes what he wants. He shouts, "I want wisdom." The wisdom to become a real man. The voice lightens up. Following his choice of wisdom, they bring out another statue, the 7th statue, the divine art, dark side of the moon. The ancient words are recited again. The world's balance. Every gain has its price. So to gain an unexpected power, what price must be paid? The ritual is over. Mother is worried to see her son in that state. She approaches him. He turns around, and he has turned into a shadow-like creature. Mother is shocked to see her son turned into a shadow creature. Next, once again, Richard finds himself in a strange place, and then he hears someone calling him. He looks to his side, and it's his mother trying to reach her voice to her son, who has turned into a shadow creature. She can't believe her eyes. She wonders if all of this isn't from Alucia. She remembers her son's words, that he learned the ancient language from the book. Her expression changes, and she gets ready to take action. She uses her power on him, the divine art of foresight, and gets ready to see what her son is going through. And she is shocked to see the sight in front of her eyes. Her son surrounded by black shadow in the middle of a wormhole, or whatever. The power is so strong that she was not able to see more than that. However, now her son has calmed down, but she didn't expect the chaotic creatures to have already tainted the domain of the moon goddess. There are many powerful beings or creatures out there, and the evil power is constantly extending its claws, attempting to corrupt every plane it can touch. This evil power had already reached the continent of Isan many eras ago. They feed on mana. They twist the minds of those who originally possessed mana and believed in divine arts, causing them to fall and be selected as agents to spread that chaotic dark power. But they were repelled away by the joint efforts of the Holy Alliance and the Moon Goddess. However, Mommy never thought that, after all these years, Alucia would be tainted, and now they are holding her son, trying to make him their coordinates and anchor points for their next invasion. If this continues, there are only 2 possible outcomes for her son: destroyed by violent clash of energies, or be possessed by the most powerful of the shadow creatures and lose control of his body. But no, she is not going to let that happen to her son. If she were still the Alucia's high priestess, the enlightenment wouldn't have mutated. But she can't dawdle on those thoughts. She gets ready to do something by herself, starts to look for something, and finds it. Whatever that is, She starts to write a letter to the one who was able to destroy the Elven royal court 10 years ago. She is sure that he should be able to deal with these shadow life forms. She wrote that letter to Gotan Isaiah Satanatolia Amund. After finishing writing it, the letter flies off. The burning light symbolizes that this name, written with mana, has touched upon the laws, conveying it to the owner of the name. 11 years ago, Mother Eleni and father were fighting with some pursuers. He told her to run away from there while he was holding the pursuers. But she doesn't want to leave him alone there. He hugged her and told her to take care of their child, because he is the man of the future Akomonde family, one with a demonic bloodline. He hoped that one day she can tell their son his father's name, Gatan Igia, Satanistolia Akamonde. Next, the mother is ready to bring back her son, and finally, the father and son are going to meet each other after 10 years. She uses the holy power or whatever. After some time, Richard opens his eyes. His head is hurting. Then he notices his mother, her ears. This is what his mother looks like. She tells him not to be surprised, and this is what she looks like. He then informs her about everything. What happened after he chose his divine art? He found himself in a completely different space, oppressive, deathly silent. Just like the moon has a light and a dark side, he obtained wisdom, and behind wisdom, the truth. Mother is surprised to find out about this new ability called truth, existing within enlightenment. Although his consciousness was a bit hazy at the time, he remembers a sentence very clearly. He recites the sentence that shocked his mother. In that case, I now possess the ability to understand the world more clearly. And he can clearly feel that his body has been enhanced. He can now see further away and hear sounds more clearly. Mother remembers father's words that their son is a man of the future, Akomonde family, one with a demonic bloodline. She then stops him from saying anything and tells him that his mother has something important that she needs to tell him. And she thinks he has the right to know. Well, yes. Richard gets excited thinking it's another birthday present for him. Then a bomb falls on him. When she informs him that it's about his father, she asks him if he wants to meet his father. He is shocked. He always thought that his father was dead. She asks for forgiveness, that she hid it from him, but his father is not dead. As long as he is willing, she is sure that he will see his father soon, and the people his father sent should be arriving shortly. However, that's not important to him. What he wants to know is whether his mother wants to see his father. As long as she is ready to see him, then he also wants to see his dad. Mother is so happy to hear that. She gives him a hug. Teary eyes, she remembers her time with her husband and wonders if it's going to be just like then. And the time she has left to protect Richard is running out. Several days later, the farmers are working on their fields. They notices some people on horses coming there and gets shocked to see it's a heavy cavalry, but why they came to such a small village like theirs. They wonder. One knight took out his sword, pointed at the farmer, and asked, "Does anyone know where Eleni lives?" The farmer falls on the ground shouting, "Who is Eleni?" He doesn't know anyone with that name. None of the villagers has heard of this person with this name, Eleni. Since they don't know the direction or location of that person, the knights ask the captain what they should do with them. The captain orders them to tear the place apart and find them, no matter what. Eleni comes and stops them, saying, "I am here." Villagers get shocked to see it's Elaine. They are all confused. The captain rushes to her, falls on his knees, introduces himself, saying his name is Mordred, a knight under Lord Gotan. By his lord's command, they have come here to escort her back. Next, Piru and his friends rush to see after they heard it's Richard's family. Villagers are confused, thinking why such heavy cavalry is there. Wonders if Elaine committed some crime. Piru squeezes in the crowd to see, and they are shocked to see that their Elaine is actually an elf. She introduces Richard to Mordred the knight. Mordred greets his young master. Villagers are shocked to see the knights bowing to them, starts to wonder what their identities are. Now they have packed everything, they get ready to depart from there. And this is going to be their last moment. She tells him not to worry and that they will not hurt him or anything. Tears fall from her eyes when she says, "We made a promise to go see your father." Now they are ready to leave. The knight have sealed off the gates of the village and not allowing anyone to pass from there until they depart from that place. And Mordred, looking at Richard, he thinks that's the bloodline of the Akamande family. Suddenly, a knight comes to Mordred and informs him that the lady has disappeared. He is shocked, and so, Richard. She went back, saying she forgot something. A strange wind suddenly blew on the path, and the soldiers following her lost her. Another one comes, saying the village is on fire. Everyone is shocked because it's Elaine's house that caught fire. Another guard came shouting. The lady returned to her home and committed a self-immolation. Richard is shaken to his core. He can't believe that, jumps off the horse, and gets ready to go and save his mother. Mordred stops him. Richard shouts, saying, "You didn't say it would be like this." He tries to get out of Mordred's grasp, but Mordred pins him down, tells him to calm down because this was all the lady's choice. Pure and brave, willing to burn her own life to ash just to protect a thing she treasures. Truly a woman worthy of their Lord Goten. But he doesn't want his mother to leave him. A few days ago, he and his mother talked about his father. The story of his father and mother is hard to put into words. However, due to some complicated issues and powerful factions, she had to take Richard and live in hiding. Until what happened during the ritual forced her to return to her original form. The fact that she is an elf surprises him too. However, she doesn't have much mana to maintain her form, and it's because of a sickness that is only getting worse and worse. This shocked Richard again. He didn't know that his mother was sick. The sickness is already insurmountable. One side must sacrifice. So, she told him that when she is handing him over to his father, she needs to leave him for a while for her treatment, but he wants to go with his mother. She tells him to be good, and she will get well soon, and also tells him to remember that his mother will always be by his side. Next, Mordred has knocked him out because he was not calming down. Now they gets ready to do something about the villagers. He orders his knight to leave a small number of women to go to other towns and help them spread the news that the lady is dead. As for the other villagers, kill them all. Their lord doesn't wish for more people to know of his child's whereabouts. They seal the gate, burn the village, and massacre most of the villagers. And poor Piru also met his demise. Good for him. Richard then remembers his conversation with his mother about his father, that his father is a madman, a genius with great talent in martial, political, and military arts. 10 years ago, he single-handedly conquered the elven royal court of the Evernight Forest. It shook the entire Holy Alliance. Mother hasn't had any news of his father for many years, but she heard that he has become a marquis and is living in a place called Black Rose Castle. Next, looks like Richard has reached his father's place and is crying in his sleep, calling his mother. He wakes up, shouting "Mother," and is shocked to find himself in this new place. He only remembers being pinned to the ground by that knight. Then, he remembers his mother, jumps out of the bed, gets ready to go and find his mother. Then someone knocks on the door. Who is it? A lady comes there with his clothes, tells him to bathe and put them on when he is done. Now he realizes he doesn't have clothes on his body. She puts the clothes on the table, informs him that the bath is on the right side. Before leaving, she informs him that the Lord wishes to see him. The Lord, his father. He is now all cleaned up, comes out of his room, and there is the man, the myth, his father, saying, "We finally meet." Richard Akomande. His father, he kinda looks like a Dracula. Next to the father and son are having dinner together, and father is sharing some words of his wife to his son and is finding his son's personality very similar to his wife Richard's mother. And father also believes that Eleni sacrificed herself for Richard and him. She protected Richard and preserved Gotan's identity amongst the other powers. He keeps calling Richard Akomande, and Rochard is not liking the sound of that name, whether he likes it or not. But his surname is still Akomande, and his mother entrusted him to his father, regardless of what she told him about his origins before. He has the blood of the Akomande family flowing through him, which exists under their current holy empire, the bloodline of the Akomande nobility. Father informs him that their family should have been a family of the Grand Duke rank, a level higher than the current Duke rank. But because of some madness of various members throughout their family history, they become a thorn in the side of those old, established, noble families. In their eyes, the Akomande family became a lower-class nobility that knew no etiquette or rules. However, in the eyes of those old noble families, there is a great figure who enjoys eating raw flesh. They called him Philip the Bloodthirsty. Yet a man like that is recognized by the empire as the epitome of a true nobleman, because that Philip Bloodthirsty is the great emperor of their Holy Alliance empire. The old noble families all fawn over him, and the Akomande family has become the mad and dangerous outsiders they speak of. And now that Richard has inherited that name, he has to live with that. That's why he must become strong and powerful. Richard finally understood the reason why his father and mother were willing to make the sacrifices. To resist the rule? No. His father just doesn't want to submit. The feeling of being controlled by that kind of trash. But Richard is only 10 years now, so he is sure that Richard will not understand it. But when he truly understands the truth, perhaps Richard will discover that the person closest to him is no different than the bloodthirsty emperor. Someone comes there and informs Gotan that they captured spies sent by the other families within their territory, and their number is over 100 commoners. Father orders the lady to dispose them all, and turns out this lady is Richard's half-sister. Gotan orders her to take care of her half-brother. His life in the castle from now on is her responsibility. And this news shocked Richard. He is shocked to find out that he has a stepsister. He jumps off his chair and asks Gotan, what does his mother Eleni truly mean to him? Father becomes silent for some time and tells him that now Eleni means nothing. Richard is shocked. Gotan also informs him that fulfilling Eleni's wish will not be easy. She placed her hope in Richard, but he has no interest in them. Even though Richard have been entrusted to Gotan, Gotan informs him that he will not help Richard directly, nor will he grant Richard power. He is trapped there. He can only rely on himself to find solution, to seize those opportunities that he gives Richard. Richard remembers his conversation with his mother about his father, and mother told him only about good things about his father, and that she was sure that Richard will like him too. However, he is not liking his father a bit. Instead, he hates this man in front of him. Next, 2 days later, the Magic Tower City, Deep Blue, Mordred brought Richard there for his studies. The training ground their lord has arranged for their young master, Richard, and his mentor is inside there. This is his first time seeing such an amazing, the legendary city of magic. The buildings there, and all kinds of magic users. He is super excited to be there, while Mordred is talking with someone from the academy about his young master. But the person on the other side doesn't want to accept any disciple, no matter what their background is, or how special or godly blessed they are. Mordred put some good words and it an order from someone the teacher knows very well. Is Lord Gotan, the person from the other side name Sue Helen. gets ready to inspect the goods before she accepts them. Next, in this world, not everyone can learn the magic. Only people with special constitutions or bloodlines have this opportunity. And for that reason, people are screened and graded to see if they are suitable for learning magic. The Spring of Assessment was established within the Deep Blue Tower City. Getting into the spring and staying in there will rank them of their magic potential. The longer you in there, the better the result. And today, many people's magic ranks were only at entry level. The teacher assessing them are bored by this. Nobles' children come there, force them to assess them, and they come out in entry level. Finally, it's Richard's turn. Everyone in there laughs at him because of his clothes. He is wearing clothes like a farmer. Anyways, he enters the spring. The magic from the spring enters in body, and it's very painful. Mordred cheers for his young master, saying they can't let their lord gotten down. Richard remembers his father's word, saying, "Go fight for the opportunities I gave you." He gets ready to hold on. He is not going to let that guy look down on him. Next, everyone in that place is shocked to see that Richard has been holding on for 10 minutes, and the grading results are in. It's a gold. Advanced level. Suddenly something happens in that spring. The dark energy from before gets activated. The Academy security system gets activated, informing everyone about the danger. People are shocked to see that black energy, but Mordred knows what that thing is. It's shadow creature. He remembers his talk with Lady Eleni in that village. She made him promise to protect her son for her, and he pledged with his life to do his utmost to protect his young master Richard. So what he does next, he jumps into the spring, but the dark energy is too strong. His human body can't handle it. The dark energy is making it hard for him to reach to his young master. The teachers there ask for backup. The system informs them that the legendary mage has already gone over there. Someone comes from the sky, orders Mordred to move from there. She then blasted the shadow creature with her magic, and she is surprised to see the bloodline, her little Gotan, entrusted to her, being targeted by those shadow creatures. The chosen child. Mordred is worried about his young master, and she informs him that his young master has passed the test. She is Sue Helen and is ready to take Richard as her student. Next, Richard finds himself in his old house, where his mother is burning in fire. He tries to reach to his mother. He hears someone calling his name, and his mother disappears into the fire. He wakes up screaming, "Mother," and he is shocked to see an old man there. Sue Helen told this old man to look after Richard and to become his primary magic teacher in the future. He is confused, but what's more confusing is this magic ball floating above his hand. That's for treating and observing him. Old man informs him about everything that happened in the spring. Next, Richard asks the old mage about Mordred, and Mordred is talking with the legendary mage, Sue Helen. They are talking about Richard. Helen is confused because Richard does have that much elemental talent, but his mental strength is excellent. He has innate power, possibly derived from his mother. Overall, his abilities are very balanced. But still, the shadow creatures set their sights on him. Mordred informs her that it is because Richard is the Accomonde family bloodline. Mordred's wound has healed up, and Helen didn't expect Mordred to be so loyal, putting his life on the line to save Richard. And she also informs him that the testing fee plus his treatment fee, the total is 116,000. Mordred tells her to put it on the tab for now. Wow, she is not running a charity here. He gets ready to discuss the price she mentioned with his lord, and she is surprised to hear that. He informs her that the shadow creature within his young master is very dangerous, and it will take his life in the future. The only method they found now is to keep him by Helen's side. Only she, the legendary mage, have the ability to suppress that shadow power, and she wants a good amount to do that, like the 2 planes that is in Gotan's hand. Or 10 years of revenue. Looks like they settled with the plains. She is still the money grubber, Sue Helen. He gets ready to discuss with his lord and also wants her to offer a bit more value to ensure the deal goes through. She gets ready to provide some help to Richard in the next ceremony at the Eternal Dragon Temple. After that, Mordred left his young master to her care. Next, Richard is thinking about the time in the spring and the visuals he saw at that time. Wonders if that was the real world or just an illusion. Then he notices something on his hand, a system-like window. He rubs his eyes, thinking he might be seeing things, but more of those windows appear this time. They are showing numbers, and he can decipher them. Wherever he moves his eyes, there are these numbers. He shouts his lungs out, thinking he must have gone mad. He washes his face, thinking that he must still be dreaming, but he's not. And the sensation he is feeling right now is the same as he felt at that time. Now wonders if the numbers have some meaning. He starts to understand the numbers. The number becomes clearer and clearer. Finally, it shows the details of the things in front of his eyes. He is shocked to see that it's a complete data of the materials in front of his eyes. This is the power of truth he chose at that time. Looks like he slept on the floor that night. Someone came to wake him up because today is the first day of their magic study life. The old mage from before is talking to the classroom. Then he notices that they are going the wrong way. All the students are going the other way. Well, the legendary mage told him to teach Richard properly. But wow, the classroom they just entered is just too small. But that's just an entrance point to where they are going. The old mage activates some kind of magic to teleport themselves. They arrive in the mirror classroom, and the old mage is going to be his primary magic instructor. And his name is Teacher Popovich. Their first magic class lesson is the method of thinking to observe the magical world, the primal force. The primal force is the foundation that constitutes everything. Their world is built upon the foundation of primal force and gradually expands as the primal force expands. And within the chaotic space, many plane worlds exist, and different laws exist in different locations. Laws constitute the framework of the entire world, and countless planes are flesh and blood of the world. Just like the plane where the continent of Norland, the plane that Helen once front Richard's father beneath their feet is located. Such a high-level plane, belonging to their primary plane. For those who observe the world with their naked eyes, it should be taken for granted. But when their consciousness truly reaches the height of the plane, standing from a higher perspective to observe this world, actually what they hear and see is not real. Just like that mirror classroom, Richard's mind is overloaded with all this new information. Old Mage knows that this new informations are kinda too much for Richard, but the legendary mage told him to tell Richard about these truths on her behalf. This will be very helpful of how he understands and use magic in the future. The old mage also gives him an assignment, a very important first step in learning magic from now on, drawing his own array composition, and he must complete it in next 3 months. He has to make his own magic in 3 months, a magic that belongs to him only. 2 months later, the legendary mage returned from the trip to collect debts. It took nearly 2 months. Some people are there to welcome her, and among them is the old mage Popovich. They inform her about everything that happened in the last 2 months, and about a suspicious monster activity they discovered north of the Tower City. But she is not interested in low-paying commissions. Old Mage then shows her something interesting. Richard has already started a magic array composition. Old Mage informs her that Richard didn't let down the expectation of the legendary mage. He has a talent for magic composition that differs from ordinary people. After just 2 months of practice, the error margin between his latest magic array composition and the masterpiece magic array is already controlled within 0.01 centimeters, and the error is very stable. Everyone there is shocked to hear that the error is within 0.01 centimeters. That level of precision and stability can only be achieved by a great mage who is level 10 or above. What shocked them even more was when they heard that it came from the hands of a magic apprentice. Then they noticed something in the sky. Some kind of firework is happening. And it's Richard, testing his very own magic for the first time. And he succeeded it in just 2 months, thanks to his ability, see to the essence of matter. He created a fireball, a magic that belongs to him. She looks proud because he did something amazing in just 2 months. They are sure that he is truly gifted. She then asks Popovich about Richard's shadow fluctuation. During the last 2 months, Popovich was able to feel the shadow aura, but Richard was working hard to suppress and control that energy. She then orders him to let him join school life with other students. 7 months later, the first day of the new semester, teacher is shouting and informing all the students not to be late. Richard approaches that teacher, saying that Popovich told him to come there. She is shocked to see Richard. She remembers him, the child she saw during the spring assessment, more than half a year ago. He has grown so much taller now. She then starts to show him the area of the academy. She then brings him to the classroom and asks if he is okay with the age gap. He is still young and there is a big of age gap with the students enrolling inside that classroom. He is fine with it. Next, in the classroom, everyone is talking about the new student who is very young and is also a student of the legendary mage. Everyone is eager to meet this new student. The teacher comes there with the new student, introduces Richard to everyone in the classroom. The ladies are surprised to see that he is so tall, even though he is younger than them. One student asks the teacher if he is really the legendary mage's student. Everyone is shocked. The ones who didn't know that he is the student of the legendary mage, because countless powerful, accomplished mages want to be the legendary mage's student but have no way in. So what makes this young kid qualified? Richard comes clean, informs them all that he has never met the legendary mage they speak of, and his current mentor is teacher Popovich. His name is Richard, and he is there to learn things together with them. But this guy named Papan is mad for some reason. Next, the school is over, and everyone is rushing to do their own business. And Richard finds today's class very easy. He learned all these stuffs in the mirror classroom. The theories and spells were too basic. It was boring. A few days ago, Popovich told him that he would be joining campus life soon, even though his current magical knowledge has far exceeded the scope of ordinary student magic learning outside. Letting him return to the campus life is a decision agreed by both the legendary mage and Popovich, because it will be beneficial for his body and mind. He has been hearing about this legendary mage, but he still hasn't seen her face once. Wonders if she really counts as his teacher. Popovich told him to trust her and that he should be rejoicing. These arrangements are all for his own good. Richard is on his way to the library. That's when Papan jumps at him from behind, punches Richard. He falls down on the ground. Papan is mad because Richard was spouting lies in the classroom, calling himself a new student of the legendary mage. The fight attracts everyone's attention, and looks like Papan is a level 2 mage, also very talented in magic, yet he couldn't become a student of the legendary mage. And in the morning, he had conspired with other students to ostracize the new kid. Unfortunately, the plan was denied by the kid's own mouth, and the mastermind is a guy named Randolph, spreading Richard's information to his new lackeys. And Randolph is also a student of the legendary mage, but if something happens to Richard, Randolph might also get punished, and he is ready to take that blame. Papan grabs his asks him to answer him how a weakling like him got to be the student of the legendary mage. 7 months ago, Richard was practicing hitting a wooden stake and was confused why a mage was practicing a knight's exercise. Popovich told him that he needs a strong body as a container to carry stronger magic in the future. That's why he also has to do physical training. He trained in strength, in wisdom, and in physique. Richard grabs Papan's hand. His strength is too much for Papan. Richard then punches him, and he goes flying. Everyone is shocked to see that. They didn't expect the new kid to be this strong, flying a level 2 mage with just one punch. Richard then mocks him, saying that he is the one who is weak there. And looks like other students are also now laughing at Papan. Papan, boiling with anger, fires a fireball at Richard. Richard gets ready to block it, activates his magic, and blocks the attack with Firestorm. Everyone is shocked to see that Richard is using a level 3 magic. Richard's system informs him that instant composition rate is 87%, and magic power increased by 87%. That is the overall power of that magic he just used, and he didn't expect a magic array drawn in a short time can only reach about 80. Students are shocked to see that the level 3 magic actually cracked the stone wall. Everyone is sure now that he is the student of the legendary mage. No doubt, because there is no way an ordinary level 1 mage apprentice can use a level 3 magic. Richard also realizes that he recklessly used magic beyond his level. It's rare to be able to put this magic which he studied for almost a year into practice. Randolph then shouts out to Papin, gives him a magic scroll to use it on Richard. Randolph also tells him that once this is all over, he will use his family's means to help Papa become a student of legendary mage. Then everyone notices Papin using some strange magic. He attacks Richard with that magic, and that magic is a level 5 magic, telekinesis. Now Richard is in the air. Everyone is shocked to see that, thinking how is Papin able to use that magic is the school of magic that the legendary mage specializes in. Randolph is enjoying the show. On the other hand, Richard can't move his body. He can't draw a magic array to counterattack at all. And there is a piercing sound hurting his head. Seeing Richard like that, Papin thinks that he should stop now. But Randolph orders him to keep going and not to stop. He wants to see what Richard is capable of. Now something starts to happen to Richard. Papin also notices some kind of dark energy coming towards him. Then it becomes clear he is shocked to see the darkness around Richard. Papin starts to scream. My head hurts. Everyone is confused about what is going on there. The teacher also arrives. There Papin is rolling on the floor screaming in pain, and Richard seems to have passed out. Randolph gets ready to retrieve the scroll, but he is confused about why Papin was screaming in pain. He gets ready to retrieve the scroll. Someone from the crowd informs the teacher that she found a magic array draft that student Papin used in the fight. Randolph is shocked. He is fucked. Now, the girl who found the magic array, her name is Minnie. She informs the teacher that this magic fight has a different instigator. Next, Popovich is informing Sue Helen about what happened and how a student named Papin almost went crazy. Papin informed them that he saw a strange energy around Richard. However, it was only him, and no other students saw that. Helen is sure that this manifestation is very likely because the shadow power inside Richard's body utilized that telekinesis magic, which means Richard has already begun to unconsciously use that shadow power. She orders Popovich to keep close watch on him. And they have also given some severe punishment to Randolph. And now they are thinking of removing Randolph from his status as a student of the legendary mage. Glass Mage thinks that it's a bad idea because Randolph is a son of Duke Solam. He also has excellent talent. The Dwarf Mage thinks that the Duke Solam has Tree Dynasty and still has 2 sons with decent talent. They can remove Randolph and give priority for the self-funded apprentice slots to them. This way they can collect the enrollment sponsorship fees from Solam's side again. But Glass Mage thinks that selling the slot of apprentice like that will damage the image of the legendary mage Sue Helen. Dwarf thinks that they can handle the image thing. In the future, what they want now is money. They can't let their Highness Sue Helen to take those bitter and tiring commissions just to make up for the deficit. Helen thinks that they both have a valid point. They need money, and taking in those useless apprentices day after day is exactly why these messy incidents happen all the time. Over time, it will really lower the market price of her accepting apprentices. Now they want to know what she wants to do. She gets ready to do both. She orders them to think of a way to get the best of both worlds for her. Now they get back to the matter of Richard and Randolph. Helen heard that Richard, being a level 1 apprentice, used a level 3 magic. She is surprised to see how well Popovich have taught him during this time. Popovich informs her that Richard has an extraordinary talent to be a good rune master, and it has to do with another characteristic of his. He is not only studying magic, but also physically, mentally, in all aspects. His determination to work hard carries him. His mother was the one protecting him all her life. Ned taught him the meaning of being a real man. That's why he wants to become stronger to protect what's important to him. Now she wonders if their academy will produce a Saint Rune Master this time. Next, 1 month later, a teacher comes and informs Richard that his family member has come to see him and has brought a lot of gifts too. He rushes to see who this family member is that came to see him. Wonders if it's his father, but he is sure that guy will never come. And it's his beautiful sister Daisy. 3 days ago in the Black Rock Castle, Father heard about Richard's growth over there in the past year. So he wants Daisy to go and trade with that money grubber old hag. Helen is also due for a new payment in these few days. He also wants Daisy to stay there in the Tower of Deep Blue, but she wants to stay and look after her mother, who is sick and in her last breath. Father doesn't care about her mother, who is no longer worth it for his family. For their Akamonde family, people without value, since they cannot become a sharp blade, can only become dust. He orders her to depart in 2 days. He also heard that Richard has been unconsciously touching shadow power, so he wants Daisy to stay by his side and observe his situation for him, and also take a child of the fallen noble they took in, who is the same age as Richard. But that child has already been doing intelligence work. He wants Daisy to take that girl and bring her back as the family bloodline for Richard's future growth, to prepare for continuing the family bloodline. After that, 1 year have passed. New semester has begun. Daisy is living her peaceful life in the deep blue. She is also surprised to see that it's already been a year, and her brother is also turning 13 years soon. In some ways, she thinks this place suits her better than Rose Castle. She orders a maid to prepare the special meal for young Master Richard. Today is another time to nourish his body. Richard is in his room, exercising and preparing for new semester. The beautiful maid comes and informs him that it's the day for his special meal. After his sister came to take care of him, once every week, they have this special meal. Not this one tough, but this strange food he never seen before in his life. The rib of the Komodo earth dragon, Eastern deep sea Hatano fish, and gladiator wine exclusive to elite warriors of the Flame Canyon Ash Dwarves. Every time she prepares this meal, she comes with a very skimpy outfit. Seeing him not eating, she wonders if the food is not good, tells him to eat properly so that he can grow strong and healthy. She even gets ready to feed him, serve him with all her heart and body. If he wants, poor boy couldn't take her sweet words. He falls on the floor, and for some reason, he's feeling hot and dizzy. She wonders if the effects are finally showing after eating these foods for a year. She must help him relieve it. Richard finds himself in the bathtub, confused about what is going on. He was eating that food, and then he got dizzy, and now he is in the bathtub. The maid Erin is also there, taking care of her young master. Because of the food he ate that has a very special recipe, which is also only made for men, and his body has not fully developed yet. That's why she is there, to take good care of him. Richard jumps out of the bathtub, but the floor is very slippery, so somehow he falls on her. He can't believe his eyes. Her boings are right in front of his eyes. Richard apologizes and gets ready to leave from there, but she doesn't want him to leave, and she's been waiting for this moment. The food he ate is building up energy in his body, and she is there to relieve him of that pain. And she also belongs to him. Richard once again falls on the floor. He doesn't have strength in his legs, so she gets ready to help him, pushes him down. She gets ready to get on that ride, serving him and helping him calm down. And this was the mission she was brought there in the first place. She was a descendant of a fallen noble family from a failed coup. Her future was destined to be some slave. She didn't care whether it's the families of the north or the nobles of the south. Goton then took her in, ordered her that her entire life would be lived for the Akamonde family, and she is there to continue the Akamonde family bloodline. It's a matter as important as her own life. Richard is furious. He remembers his new family, his half-sister, and the father who doesn't care about his mother. He grabs her and yells at her, "You're not a slave." His mother always taught him not to judge status as high or low. Everyone has their own path and stars, and she is not his father's tool. And that she is just she. She is surprised by his words and happy at the same time. She hugs him and gives him a kiss, thanks him for his kind words. But that kiss was too much for him to handle. Looks like he passed out again, but she is happy to hear those words from her young master that everyone has their own path and stars, and you are just you. She is happy to serve him. Next, a teacher informs Popovich that Richard will not be able to attend the class today because he is not feeling well. Popovich is confused because he was full of energy yesterday while finishing the exercise he gave him. Now he wonders if that boy wants to slack off on the first day of the new semester. However, someone is there who really wanted to meet with Richard. Popovich gets ready to take that guy to the mirror classroom. He is the new student of the legendary mage and younger brother of Randolph. He wanted to apologize to Richard on behalf of what his elder brother did to him. His foolish brother brought shame to the family by doing that. And his name is Stevenson. And a guy with this type of eyes, they are definitely a bad guy. Students are surprised to see a new student of the legendary mage. It's someone from the Solom family. They are on their way to the mirror classroom, and Stevenson is eager to meet Richard because he heard that when Richard was just a level 1 apprentice, he was able to use a level 3 magic, which is very amazing. He also heard that Richard is the best student in magic array composition, and that Popovich and the legendary mage are both very confident that Richard will become a rune master in the future. And not just rune master, Popovich informs him that Her Highness is even very optimistic that Richard can eventually become a Saint Rune Master. Now Stevenson opens his eye, but only one side. Popovich also heard that Stevenson is very talented. He wonders perhaps, in the future, Stevenson and Richard can strike sparks in their attainment as Rune Master. But Stevenson is not that ambitious, and his talent has nothing to do with the Rune Master. But none of this affects his anticipation to meet Richard, whom the legendary mage regards so highly. Next, the Central Library of the Deep Blue. Dwarf informs Sue Helen about a guest who has been waiting for her for a very long time, and it's Daisy, who is there on behalf of the Akamonde family to finalize this month's transaction contract. And the Duke's son is also waiting for her for more than 3 hours. Sue Helen notices Daisy and throws a book at her. She then tells Daisy to report back to little Gotan, to not use his crazy values to achieve his ideas of bloodline continuation. Now that Richard is her student, she can't have her student have too many distractions during his golden period of cultivation and growth. And as compensation for disrespecting her, she charges 20% extra. And Tepuk she gave Daisy is the book of complete collection of premium magic recipes for healthy bee-steered girls. Daisy is shocked to find out that Sue Helen knows about all that. She knew about it for a long time and was just curious to see what effect those delicacies from land and sea would have on Richard. No one can hide anything from her in Deep Blue. Now she gets ready to go and meet that new student who will let her make good profit. She can also use Randolph's troublemaking as an excuse to extort a huge compensation fee from them. In the mirror classroom, Stevenson is talking another student, Miss Minnie of the Nio family. She is also a student of the legendary mage, and Stevenson's brother always used to speak about her. However, she is not interested in Stevenson's talk, and she also heard that Stevenson has a talent of a dragon warlock. Stevenson also tells her that they should get engaged for the betterment of their two families. She has also heard about these family interests, above all principles, when his brother Randolph proposed to her over a year ago. He knows that they just only met, but they have plenty of time in the future to know about themselves. After all, the greatest virtues of mages are rationality and calmness. And he also doesn't lack romance like any other mages. He kisses her hands, saying if his words just now offended her, he asks for her forgiveness. And in the future, he will use his sincerity to apologize to her. But she still doesn't look interested in him. Sue Helen comes there, saying sweet words are the cheapest gifts. The people who truly care about you always speak with money. Next, Helen is going through Stevenson's form. She's been killing dragons for many years and already forgot the count. Wonders if Stevenson is fine with the aura she accumulated that intimidates giant dragons, because Stevenson's talent is a dragon warlock. He informs her not worry about him, but he can't unsee the aura he is seeing right now. Wonders how many dragons had to die at her hands to form such a powerful reverse dragon fear. And he is very honored to become her students, and she is happy because the Solom paid not the agreed half, but the full sponsorship. She then asks him about his father, Solon, if he has already advanced to the legendary realm. And he has. At the end of last year, she gets ready to congratulate him. She then asks him about which career his father took. He informs her that his father took the spellbreaker Shadow Warrior. She is surprised. She thought he would take the Saint Arbiter Knight, which suits him best. She gets ready to find time during her trip and go meet with his father, and also informs him that she will be busy, so Popovich will take care of their future arrangements. She originally planned to use this opportunity of meeting the new student to properly meet Richard for the first time. But Richard is sick. She asks Popovich to keep a close eye on Richard's situation. He is ready to do that. As for Minnie and Stevenson, she tells them to just enjoy their campus life. 1 week later, Richard is practicing his magic array, and the system is showing all the details he is making in the magic array. According to data, practicing and copying many times should be helpful for creating a new magic array. He is looking at the numbers when suddenly his eyes move to the side and the system shows him something he didn't expect. Chest, 36 days. Aaron is there to serve him his meal. But this time, the meal looks normal. Miss Daisy told her that there's no need to feed young master too many supplements anymore because he is too weak and couldn't handle it and fainted last week. He tells her that it was because of her doing excessive things last week. Well, she belongs to him and is ready to do whatever he wants. And she also raised the neckline of her dress as he instructed. Well, he doesn't want her to go outside wearing that skimpy dress like last time, but she was only wearing it when serving him. Then she notices the magic array and wonders if her young master wants some help with it, because she also knows some magic. He is surprised to hear that she studied magic too. Yes, she has some foundation in magic, and during the 1 year she's been in the Deep Blue, in her spare time, she was also arranged to undertake advanced magic studies. The system informs him that her magic level is close to level 3. He is surprised to see that her magic power level 3. Not only in magic, she also informs him that she works in gathering intel, and she knows every detail and background of his classmates. She is ready to share the info with him if he wants. Well, he heard about this new student of the legendary mage named Stevenson, so he asks her to give him info about this new guy. Now she is smirking. She asks him for 1 gold coin. There is a price for info. That is the code of a secret agent. Next, Aaron is going somewhere, and it's already getting dark. She almost violated the regulations. On her way, she bumped into someone, and that someone is Stevenson, and he knows about Aaron Richard's slave. She is running away from Stevenson and is surprised to find that there is actually someone who knows about her background. Her way back is blocked by Stevenson, so she gets ready to use the teleportation array. Use the gold coin as the teleportation fee. Then Stevenson appears from the teleportation array, saying, "Miss Aaron, just to avoid me, you are willing to pay a high price to use teleportation. You, with the status of a slave, bought and sold by the family." He throws 200 gold coins and wants to make a deal with her. He introduces himself, that his name is Stephen. She heard this name, her young master asked her to investigate about him. Stephen then informs her that his family name is Solam. This scared her. The Solam family was the first employer in her slave record who bought her. He then grabs her neck and pushes her to and tells her that they need to reach master-servant relationship again. And he also knows a little about her. She was actually chosen as a slave to be a breeding tool for the Akamonde family. He is surprised to find that Marquis Gotu to be just like the Rumore say, not playing by the rule. And that's why in the Great War between his father and the legendary mage many years ago, the Akamonde family was able to reap benefits in the end, including her, a legacy of a fallen family, who was taken in by the Akamonde family after that incident. He then rips her clothes because he heard that she is not getting along quite well with Richard. He checks her boings and seeing them, such a fine body, he thinks it is indeed suitable to become a tool for raising future generation. He is giving her those gold coins so she can redeem her identity as a slave. She asks him what he wants in return, and he wants her to be his woman. He uses his other hand to do something on her boings, and he doesn't mind making a slave his concubine. That way she can also break free from her slave status and become a future duchess. Someone attacks Stephen's hand that was holding down Aaron Finding the opportunity, she escapes from there. The one who attacked is Mani, and seeing his behavior just now, she is sure now that Solam family, not a single one of them is good. He didn't expect her to track him late at night, but she is just passing by there. He informs her that it's just a misunderstanding and he just wanted to facilitate a deal with Aaron. And Mani didn't expect him to make a deal with a slave woman, truly filthy. However, the deal is about Richard Akamone. He is sure what that means. The fall of her Nayo territory, and the leading general of the opposing enemy is none other than the Viscount Alice Akamonde. He is sure that if this continues, Goton Akamonde will also join the fray. And even with limited resources, with the Solam family, there won't be any chance to turn the tide. He also understands what she did with his brother a year ago was to eliminate their Solam influence with the Deep Blue. And that just proves that he and Mani are both smart successors. So he believes what is best for her to choose. If the opportunity is missed, not only the marriage contract between their two families no longer have meaning, what he fears the most is the Nayo family defeat in the war in the future. And at that time, Miss Mani will be no different than the slave Miss Aaron. 1 month later, the result of the first month is out, and Richard is the first one with the highest number. Sister is happy with his performance. He asks about Aaron because she hasn't come to serve him for 1 month now. Daisy informs him that she was not feeling well and has given a vacation. As for where she went recently, she didn't report it, so it's unclear. But they don't lack any servants to take care of his life. However, Richard noticed something in the Deep Blue beside Teacher Popovich. It seemed he could only get along with Aaron, and we know why. He wonders where she go, leaving him alone, when she told him that she belongs to him. Next, the students, including Richard, are in the painting class. The teacher of the painting class introduces himself as the Grand Painter. He gives each and every fine detail of the sculpture Venus to his students. However, Richard's mind is not in the class. He is thinking about Aaron. The teacher notices that and asks him why he is not paying attention in the class, or has he already comprehended or understand the sculpture of Venus? If so, he wants to hear Richard's view. Other students start to discuss about Richard and that he seems a bit out of place these days. They wonder if it's because he is younger than them and his child is being playful nowadays. He also got first place in the monthly test and surpassed the level 2 mage, so they think that he must have started to slack off. Richard then reports to his teacher, uses his system, and informs the teacher each and every fine detail about the Venus. He is even more precise than the Grand Painter. Grand Painter and all the students are shocked to hear that. Then he asks the teacher if his analysis is correct. Teacher is very impressed and tells the other students to learn from Richard and conduct such a sufficient data collection and preparation before class. He then gives them a homework to complete a painting of a female figure according to their own mind. Now the other students are mad, and this is the reason Richard still doesn't have friends. And also that hateful quality of his, excellence beyond his age, however. On his mind, he is only thinking about his maid, Erin, the first day when his sister brought her to him. The happy times he spent with her, or the embarrassing time when she walked on him. She was very helpful, giving him a massage and all. What's more, she wanted to become his friend. But now, she is gone somewhere, and he doesn't know. He comes out of the library very late. The librarian is surprised to see him dazing in the library all night, and he is not even replying to him. Then he notices someone on the top of the building, and the system shows him the height and bust size. He is shocked to see that height and size. The system also shows him the body type similarity. Now he is sure that it's Erin, so he shouts out to her, but she just keeps on running. So he uses his magic to fly to the building. The pressure from the air makes her fall. He comes to help her, asks her why she is running away from him. She pushes him away, saying, "My affairs. You don't need to care." Then, the system shows him the wounds and bruises on her body. The neck muscle microtremor frequency, 20%. Bust increase, left plus 3.2%, right plus 1.8%. What made them increase like that? What did Stephen do to her? He asks her, "Who hurt you?" But she just tells him that it's her own business, it's her own choice, and that she needs money to get rid of slave status. He gets ready to help her and asks Sister Daisy, but she doesn't want that. And next, Stephen comes there and Aaron runs away. He introduces himself to Richard and was looking forward to meeting him. Didn't expect to run into him like this. However, Richard is in a bad mood, so he just leaves saying, "I am not in the mood right now." Looks like that hurt. Stephen's feeling a little, and he is sure that someday Richard will be desperate to know his name. Richard is furious after seeing the wounds and bruises on Erin's body. He wants to know who hurt her. His shadow energy starts to leak. He punches a wall or a tree and make a hole in it. Gets ready to make sure that he will find that bastard no matter what. Next, he is in the library, thinking about who could it be. He saw her, came down from the student dormitory. He is sure that the person who hurt her is in the campus right under his nose. He comes to Popovich to ask for a permission to give him a pass for Sunset Lane to do some research and collect data. But there is no way that Popovich will give him that pass because that's a lawless place filled with darkness and dirty deals, and always been an area supervised by their deep blue. But Richard informs him that he needs to go there, asks him to believe him, and that it's a very important matter to him, and the only help he can think of is Popovich. Seeing him so desperate, Popovich informs him that he indeed has the right to receive Popovich's service as the student of the legendary mage. But Popovich also promised the legendary mage that he must ensure Richard's safety as Her Highness's students within the academy. But as a friend, Popovich gives him advice that his new teacher, Grand Painter, is very familiar with the forces in Sunset Lane, and their mutual dealings are very close. Richard thanks him and gets ready to think of a way to approach the teacher, Grand Painter. Before he leaves, Popovich informs him that he should not forget that in Deep Blue, anything beyond regulation is not allowed. Even students of the legendary mage are no exception. Everything is within her grasp. Now Richard is thinking of a way. A key to connecting with Grand Painter is to make the most sincere artwork. Next, the art class is over, and Grand Painter is tired teaching bunch of fools who don't understand what art is at all. He is only doing this job because he is in a huge debt from the bet with Her Highness, that is, Sue Helen. His eyes hurt, looking at the painting of his students. Whoa, this one looks good. However, for a Grand Painter like him, he feels dizzy looking at those paintings. Then, one painting catches his eyes. It's Richard's painting, and this painting, he can't help but just admire it. So he calls Richard and gets ready to make a deal so he can keep that painting in his collection. He is mesmerized by the painting. The warm light crushed into waves of grass, gold powder coating her hair, white shirt soaked in soft spots of light, fingertips trembling with the breath of spring. The spreading colors are hazy poem, shadows wrapped in gentle velvet. The silhouette harvested within the hazy light expresses the girl's quiet, sorrowful beauty. He really wants this painting in his collection, but he is surprised to hear that Richard wants a letter of introduction for Sunset Lane. He is confused if Richard is in his right mind, and does he know what kind of business happens in the Sunset Lane? Richard tells him not to worry, and he is ready to bear all consequences. And he also knows that Grand Painter painting dealing is just the book cover of what he does, using art pieces as a carrier to secretly trade rune magic blueprints, which the Academy strictly forbids from being shared externally, leading them to being sold in Sunset Lane. Grand Painter is shocked and scared at the same time. He yells that what Richard's saying is nonsense. There is absolutely no such thing. There is no way he could possibly smuggle and trade something this is explicitly prohibited. His reaction made it all clear that Richard's intelligence was correct, and he caught the Grand Painter's handle now. Richard is sure that the Grand Painter knows that he is the student of the legendary mage, but the reason he could become one was because of his family, the Accomande family. Grand Painter is shocked, because if he is from the Accomande family, the one skilled in gathering intelligence everywhere, he gets ready to immediately have an acquaintance take Richard into Sunset Lane. But not only the permit Richard wants more from him, He wants Grand Painter to use his familiar connections in Sunset Lane to help him find a mentor who can teach him killing skills. Next, 2 days later, Richard comes to the Sunset Lane through teleportation array, and there is an old man waiting for him, and is surprised to see Richard's guts to come to Sunset Lane alone. At night, they come to the dark alley where all kinds of crimes happen. They arrive in their destination, and his new mentor is there waiting for him. He is Assassin. Naya didn't expect a kid to actually come to learn killing skills that can bypass the Academy's magic surveillance. He didn't expect a kid to be such a ruthless character. 1 month has passed, and Richard has been come there frequently to learn killing skills. People there started to notice and know him that he is Naya's kid. That same night, they have brought the newly smuggled goods, and among the goods, his painting is also there. Next, Richard learns some technique. G pays the fee for that night's training. Naya is surprised that it's already been 7th training session this month, and he comes there alone at night every time. Wonder if Richard is not scared that one day Naya be in a bad mood and just kill him, because he is not the kind of pushover who is willing to work extra just because he took money. But killing Richard? There is no benefit for Naya. Richard only brings the good for each training session. So Richard is sure that Naya will not kill him for measly 100 gold coins. Teaching him will be more beneficial for Naya. Well, as a professional assassin, he also deeply understands a principle. But sometimes they just can't work for money. More often, it's for the sake of insurance. And he already investigated that Richard is the student of the famous dictator, the Deep Blue Sue Helen, and rules of Deep Blue State that recklessly using magic that harms others within campus is not permitted. That is why Richard is there to learn the killing techniques. Naya is now interested to know who did Richard form such a grudge that he is ready to develop killing intent. Well, that he also doesn't know yet, and learning from Naya will allow him to find that person. Coming to learn killing techniques is one aspect, according to his investigation and understanding. Professional assassins trained by a mercenary killer organization in the past would all utilize a unique type of rune magic called detection. Grand Painter was shocked to know that Richard wanted an assassin mentor who understands rune magic detection. Richard is sure that Grand Painter, who has been to so many places, and not only places but important places, where royals and noble goes, he is sure that Grand Painter must have seen many famous rune master and know their stories. Regrading what rune detection is, he definitely understands it better than Richard does. The rune master hailed in the magic world as creators of miracles. It is the reason for the existence of legendary professions. But on the other side, for rulers, rune masters, and their rune magic can also form a lethal threat to a country and great nobles. If used improperly, they can also become the destroyer of the nations. Therefore, in the magic world, rune master factions have also split into different forces. Grand Painter is shocked to hear all of that. He didn't expect this kid to have such an intelligence. There is no room to hide anything from him. So, Grand Painter also starts to give him info about Rune Master and the potential they have, and that different armed forces have now evolved in the magic world with the Rune Master profession as the core, the sharpest weapon used in war, and among them has already become the highest symbol of military force, representing each faction. Anyways, he also informs him about those responsible for assassination and cleanup in wars, and they similarly possess power evolved from Rune Master. And the detection he wants to learn comes from the techniques of this organization. He gets ready to introduce that anonymous assassin to be his mentor, and his name is Disaster Blade, the former code name of Assassin Naya. And he also knows that there is a huge bounty on Naya's head, so he wonders what will happen if he leaks the intel to the officials. Naya is surprised to see that the brat he took in to teach assassination is really extraordinary. He makes Naya appreciate him more and more. Richard gets ready to pay him 500 gold from now on and prioritize learning the rune detection. But too bad for him, Naya informs him that he withdrew from the organization long ago, and without rune combination granted by a professional rune master and creature fur as a medium base, it won't work. Richard tells him not to worry and that he will soon become a rune master. 1 month later, he is making that detection rune magic array. A maid has come to serve him food, but he hasn't opened his door and has been locking himself in afternoon for the past month. Sister also heard that he's been sneaking away every night from the dormitory and also skipping his classes. And a while ago, he borrowed a large amount of money from her. The old him would never deign to use the family wealth. Wonder if that kid has become a gambler. He then comes outside shouting, "It's a success." He then tells his sister to bring over the clothes Aaron has worn the past month. He's been constantly attempting various rune ratios on original diagram. Construction detection has been replicated by him by extracting the scent of the target to be detected. Then using detection, the scent can be materialized and concentrated into a warning rune. And whenever a person or object tainted with the scent of detected target appears, the rune will trigger an alarm. It's just a pity that the quality of the beast skin serving as the rune medium is truly limited, and the replicated detection can only exert about 50% of the effect. To improve the effect, one must obtain high-grade beast skins controlled by the Academy specifically for use by rune masters as a medium. Then the only way is to officially become a rune master. So he comes to Popovich, recommend him for the rune master exam. Popovich wants him to learn more in the classroom, but all the magic they teach in the classroom, he has mastered them all. Seeing his determination, Popovich gets ready to recommend him to Grand Magister Phil, letting Richard also participate in this month's registration review. Grand Magister Phil is one of the few most outstanding rune master in the Deep Blue. And to become his student, one must pass his test. No exception even to the student of the legendary mage. And one must also construct an introductory rune magic array to deal with the assessment. And he has already completed the introductory rune magic array. Next, he has come for the registration. Many students apply for this exam a couple of times and failed a couple of times. He hands his introductory rune magic diagram in the registration desk. Popovich also informs Sue Helen about Richard preparing for the rune master, and she informs Popovich that everything is under control. Then suddenly the alarm rings. It's his detection magic. Among the diagrams for the registration, there it has Aaron's scent in it, and it's from the diagrams of Stephen. If she is with Stephen, then my dirty mind can't help but think that he must have already done so many things to her. 2 days later, the results are out. Many have failed. The registration desk call out Richard's name, second year, level 2, magic. Everyone is surprised to see a level 2 also there to take the exam, then notices that he is the student of the legendary mage, and Richard has passed the test and has been called to the building 3 of Rune Teaching Classroom. There are 2 more students who passed the test, and it's Stephen and Minnie. They are surprised to see Richard in there. Richard remembers that guy from that night. Richard apologizes to him for being impolite that night. He also apologizes to Richard for troubling him when he was at troubled time. Minnie greets him. He knows Minnie, the one who helped him in his last fight. The Grand Magister Phil also arrives after that, and looking at those 3 kids, he happy that Her Highness's eye is indeed not wrong to choose those kids as her student. He informs him that only 3 of them passed the test. This surprises Richard, and seeing his surprise like that, Grand Magister Phil is sure that he must be the youngest student, Richard. And this is the highest number of students he has selected in the last 10 years. If it's just 3 of them, Richard wonders if that Stevenson guy with Aaron's scent must have failed. Then he gets shocked when Grand Magister Phil informs him that all 3 of them are the students of legendary mage. If that's the case, that means this guy Stephen then properly introduces himself, and that his name is Stevenson, the youngest son of the Solam family. Now all the dots have connected. Only the students of the legendary mage have the privilege to enter and exit the dormitory late at night. This guy is the one who hurt Aaron. Now he is boiling with anger. Grand Magister tells them to come with him. He needs to critique the primary rune crafting they submitted. Richard clenches his fist. He is confused about what to do. He is still not sure. Wonders if he should make a move. He has many moves he can use right now. Naya taught him well. Like this soul wire spike kill, this is Naya's self-created shadow threads, invisible to the naked eye to instantly bind the enemy's movement, paired with highly toxic hidden needle for assassination. Even if it doesn't hit the vital point, the poison effect is enough to kill the target. Everything prepared for this move does not belong to the category of a magic, so even if used in deep blue, it won't be detected. The killing intent and shadow energy are released from his body, with the needles in his fist. Stevenson suddenly feels a chill down his spine. The dark energy and killing intent coming from behind, his dragon trait gets activated from Richard's killing intent. Noticing this danger, he asks Minnie to announce that matter. There she is, confused. Minnie comes to Grand Magister Phil apologizing for disturbing him, but she has something to announce. And she announces that she, Minnie representing the Nio family, have reached a marriage agreement with Stevenson of the Solam family, and she invites Grand Magister Phil to attend their engagement ceremony in the future. They also invites Richard, their fellow student, under the legendary mage. Stevenson is happy and honored that Minnie will be his future wife. He hopes that they all can come and share in his joy. Richard is shocked and mad at the same time, thinking he almost made a huge mistake. Those two nobles are engaged with their status. They wouldn't be the one who hurt Aaron, right? Hurting a person of low status? For a noble like them, he has no reason to. He starts to doubt his own magic rune, thinking that it's not 100% perfect, and it is not ringing that alarm right now. Now they are done? Grand Magister Phil informs him that even though they are extraordinary, but to him, judging from their rune crafting test assignments, they are all just at the beginner level. And one of their tests is significantly better than the others. Even though they are the students of Her Highness, their aptitude levels vary. They want to know who did better, especially Stevenson. Grand Magister Phil gets ready to do that with an experiment, a biological teaching experiment. They come to the experimental ground, and first they test Minnie's rune magic array on the test subject, and ran for 5 laps, and it finished it in 10 minutes. The improvement of her agility array is 20%. The test subject usually takes 12 minutes. Richard is shocked to see the test subject. The so-called test subject is a centaur. The Grand Magister Phil brought them there to let them understand the essence of rune magic most intuitively. This is exactly the purpose of bringing them to his experimental grounds this time. The centaur species creatures that he bred are the test subjects for scoring their rune crafting assignments in this test. Minnie can't believe that she scored the least among them, even though she used the precious spirit fox pelts as a medium. Now, it's time for Stevenson and Richard. Stevenson tells her not to worry, and that he used a top-grade dragon skin to complete the test assignment. He is sure that he will get the first place. On the other hand, Richard is still thinking about the detection magic. They uses Stevenson rune magic this time on the centaur. Grand Magister Phil informs them that the experimental centaurs, for the 3 of them, have all been pre-screened without any buffs. Their usual time for 5 laps around the track is 12 minutes. So there will be no unfair testing. And thank you guys for watching.